Hey, what is up guys? So having covered the 36% risk index portfolio previously, today I would like to help you to choose your high risk portfolio and to compare and give you my insights on what are the best options available out of the three portfolios, which are the 26%, 30% and also the 36% risk index. I appreciate that early thumbs up. It really helps a lot with my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's content. So the question of the day, which is the better option, the 26%, 30% or the 36%? Now let's look at this picture. On the left we have the 26% risk index portfolio. In the middle we have the 30% and on the right we have the 36% portfolio. And at face value, it looks like the three of them have very similar portfolio, but this is not necessarily the case. Now to show you a better picture, I've listed them down in an Excel table. So let's look at this asset by asset. We start at the equity sectors in the United States. So as you can see, the 36% risk index portfolio does not have number 3, the Consumer Staples Select Sector SPDR Fund. This ETF has similar nature to number 4, the Consumer Discretionary Select Sector Fund, except that the companies in this ETF are more defensive in nature, meaning if the US economy fails or whatever, the consumers will still need them to live on. Let's look at their top 4 holdings. Firstly, we have the Procter & Gamble company at 17.68%. This company produces consumer goods just like Nestle in Malaysia. Everyone needs their Milo and instant noodles even during apocalypse. And next we have Walmart Inc., which operates hypermarkets, department stores and grocery stores. Just like 99 Speedmart, Tesco and Giant, you will still need your groceries even though there's pandemic or during recession, right? And thirdly, they have PepsiCo Incorporation, which sells beverages and convenient food that we all know and love. And the fourth one is the Coca-Cola company, which is similar to PepsiCo. I believe you know what Coca-Cola does. Now back to the table, this is why the 36% portfolio is of higher risk, because it does not have the Consumer Staples ETF. Next, we look at the international equities. You can see that all three of the portfolios have number 2, which is the Crane Shares CSI China Internet ETF, which is basically Alibaba Group, Tencent Group and many other internet giants in China. What stands out here is the 26% portfolio does not have exposure to number 1, emerging markets in the world, and number 3, the developing markets in Asia countries. And those are usually companies with small to medium market cap, hence more potential to grow, and that's why higher risk. The next asset class is fixed income, which I have covered in detail in my previous video, and I'll link it on the top right corner over there, so feel free to check it out. Now this is basically the Vanguard Total International Bond ETF, which is a very stable asset with very minimal fluctuations, so there is very minimal risk associated to this class, and hence why the 36% portfolio does not have this class. So moving forward, we are gonna address the elephant in the room, which is the real estate asset class. The Vanguard Global X US Real Estate ETF is basically the index that tracks the world's real estate performance, except for the United States. Its historical performance as of 21st October 2020 is proven to be below average, down 14.19% for the past 1 year, down 1.85% for the past 3 years, and up 2.76% for the past 5 years. Okay, so I do not want to swarm you with all the numbers, but what does that actually translates to? We all want to know what does this mean, right? So let's look at this indicator, the UBS Global Real Estate Bubble Index. It tracks the risk of property price bubbles in global cities. From the definition, the price bubbles are a regularly recurring phenomenon in property markets. The term bubble refers to a substantial and sustained mispricing of an asset, the existence of which cannot be proven unless it bursts. The UBS Global Real Estate Bubble Index gauges the risk of a property bubble on the basis of such patterns. So with that in mind, let's look at this list. You can see that most of the cities are in yellow to red bubble risk, which may or may not signal a concern for REIT investors. Though how accurate is this indicator remains a question mark to me as well. Of course, we can always choose to trust or not trust this data at face value, but a good thumb rule for any investors is to always be skeptical of any information that you find online unless you can validate them across multiple validated sources. Okay, so let's go back to the question of the day. Which among the three portfolios here is the better option in my opinion? Now, looking at this picture, there's a few things that I have to mention. If you take a bird's eye view, the actual game changer here is actually the equity sectors in the US as well as the international equities, with all of them taking up an average 70% of the entire portfolio. Now, personally, I will not bet against the US economy because it is the world's largest economy as well as one of the best performing ones with proven track records. And to prove that the US economy is a winner in the long run, let me show you the S&P 500 index. You can see that it is increasing over the long run. The XLY Consumer Discretionary ETF is also increasing over the long run, as well as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It is also increasing over the long run. And there you go, the largest economy in the world. As for the international equities, this is where things get pretty tricky because all of them across the board have ETFs that has exposure towards the Chinese internet companies which are just beginning to blossom. Just look at Alibaba's market cap at 838 billion US dollars versus Amazon's market cap at 1.61 trillion dollars. There is so much headroom to grow for the Chinese economy, and if you get it, you get it. So just one small thing to note, the 30 and 36% portfolio has exposure towards the developing and emerging market countries, which to be honest is not my cup of tea because I rather invest my money into proven industries with promising growth rather than on uncertainties. But really that is just my personal opinion and that should not affect your investing decision. But then again, I'm a very simple man. I see things that I like. If I see that Chinese and US equity pies is larger, I will invest into that pie. Very simple. And also, if it concerns you, the real estate is really just 7% weightage in the portfolio, which to be honest is very insignificant, but if that bothers you, then feel free to skip it. So my verdict of the day, if I were to recommend anyone or even myself to choose a risk index portfolio, I would recommend the 30% risk index portfolio for a few good reasons. Reason number one is the real estate asset, which has a 7% weightage in this 36% risk index portfolio, which I think will be a concern for many investors, and hence why that omits the 36% risk index portfolio, which leaves me the 26% as well as the 30% portfolio. And reason number two, we have more exposure towards the international equities, 20% as opposed to the 12% over at the 26% portfolio. And thirdly, I don't really see the reason why you should invest more in the bonds asset class. So hence why I would choose the 4% over at the 30% portfolio as opposed to the 12% over at the 26% portfolio. But that is just me personally. So that is all for today's comparison. But full disclosure ahead, I am personally invested into the 36% risk index portfolio for obvious reasons. You know, content. No, but jokes aside, the 36% risk index portfolio was a go-to choice for me, apart from the obvious reasons. But it is mainly because it has more exposure towards the US companies as well as the Chinese companies, and that is why I chose the 36% portfolio. However, just a note for you, apart from StashAway, I am also personally heavily invested in the US stock market. So you should really understand what you want in your pie if StashAway is your only investment platform. Just a disclaimer, I am not advising you to take up any portfolio. Always do your own research and understand that no investment has guaranteed return. Okay, with all of that said, I hope you find this video insightful and helpful to you. And if it did, please help me smash the like button down below, and it helps me so much with this small YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Feel free to use my referral link down below in the description box and you will get free management fee waiver for up to 6 months. That is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay invested, and as usual, I will see you in the next one.